Just got back from the thrift stores, and I'm going to preface this video, show you the little items that I got very inexpensively at Savers. I'm not a big U2 fan, but I picked up Pop with Discotheque, which is one of my all-time favorite songs by them, $1.99. This one should be interesting. I've never listened to a SACD before, and this has a surround track on it, hybrid multi-channel, plays on all SACD players. I've got the Pioneer Elite that I'm going to play it on, also a $1.99. It's 2-disc sampler, classic jazz. It has one of my all-time favorite songs on it, Cast Your Fate to the Wind by the Vince Guaraldi Trio. Thought it was worth it for $1.99, and it's got some Chet Baker, some Miles Davis on there. A couple of HDMI cables, no big deal, but not gonna buy them brand new at Best Buy and get ripped off. This one should be a lot of fun. Duke Ellington and his orchestra with Billy Strayhorn playing Tchaikovsky and the Peer Gynt suites. I'm sure they're jazzed up versions of these classical songs, but kind of cool. Also a $1.99. And Squeeze, East Side Story. My best friend from college, Squeeze was his favorite group. He got me into them, and yeah, also a $1.99 has Tempted on there. A lot of great songs, and yeah, anytime I see one of their albums out in the wild, I tend to pick it up. This is not a power strip. This is a true surge protector, and I think I paid $5 for it. But I've been upgrading and putting all my stereo stuff on surge protectors. I just think it's a good idea. And this was made by our friends at Belkin. But not here to talk about those today. I'm here to talk about these guys. Now, if you follow my channel, you may recall my disappointment with the ADS speakers. I think they were the L-420s. Well, I still get emails on those, but truth be told, I sold them on eBay, and they're the only ones I've ever sold, the only anything that I've ever sold. But when I saw these at Goodwill, all the other items you saw, by the way, I picked up at Savers. These were at Goodwill. And as you can see, they have the original metal grills. Some people make a big deal about those. You've got the dome tweeter. You can see here, there's no foam to rot out. That's all like a vinyl construction on the woofers. And then in the back, see if I can pop this open. You've got a fuse protector, and you've got an extra fuse. So the L-420s were just like that. Let's see. One's a tweeter fuse and one's a spare fuse. 1.6 amp max. Replaced with same valve fuse only. As I close these up, I'm going to get to the best part. Now these things, they weigh a bloody ton. I'm not going to kid you. I mean, for bookshelf speakers, it's either the woofer driver or the wooden cabinet that makes these things so hefty. But Well, we'll fiddle around with that later. Here's the best part of all, and I almost had a heart attack. $5, not each, pair. $5 pair. What do they need? Well, we're gonna do some Howard's and some rejuvenating oil. I'll do a couple of coats of that stuff off camera. And we'll set these up. We're gonna do something a little bit different with them. And I like the way these look. There was no way to test them out in the store, so a little bit of blind faith here, but if they're anything like, well, the L-710s, I've got to say, they were what I would call one-trick ponies. They did mid-range extremely well. In hindsight, they also did bass pretty well, but I really got tired of them, and I got tired of the clunky size. These obviously being bookshelves are a lot more compact. There's not a lot of information on these speakers online, but I checked in eBay, not under listings, but under used prices that they've sold for, and these speakers have sold for $300 to $400 for a pair. I think this is going to be $5 pretty well spent. Let's get some oil on them, hook them up, and test them out. After a couple of coats of Howard's, I gotta say, they're not perfect, but they're a hell of a lot better than they were, and came out really, really nice. Gonna let it dry a while, do the bottoms of them, and then put on some rejuvenating oil. The little name tag on the bottom, for those of you who scrutinize every pixel of a video, that may be a hint what we're going to do with these, but I'll save that for the next part. I'm going to let them dry and go to the next step.
Because aid groups are no longer on the ground able to track what's going on.
You went to Uganda to report on how people there were trying to live with the cuts. What did you see?
Yeah, I was there in August, and, locals and officials were still grappling with the ripple effects, not just on healthcare, but local economies too, because so many people lost their jobs.
These sound just so nice. And what I like about them is they've got the clarity and the mid-range of that last pair of ADSs that I had, without any of the kind of boominess that they had as well. I'm running them with the Harman Kardon AVR 146, and I've got the Yamaha 12-inch subwoofer right there, and just a really nice balance. I watched The Godfather Part 2 last night. I'm not a big home theater person, but I wanted to see how they did for dialogue, and they're tremendous. So I'm going to listen probably to some classical or some opera later on, but $5 for the pair of these things, and they do not need a thing. Sorry, I'm not going to recap them. Of course, there's people in the YouTube community that think changing capacitors in a crossover network turns them into kind of Jesus speakers all over again. And no, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to bother. One capacitor will cost more than what I paid for the pair of these things. So Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little video. Talk to you later.